I'm out here in my persimmon orchard, which is right next to my wetlands here with ducks and geese and eagles flying all over this morning. But I was going to show you a couple things. This is a persimmon I did about 3 or 4 years ago. And I have all of my old stuff is just one variety Yates because it's a long story, but I was accidentally sent a Yates variety in the mail accidentally, and that's actually how I got into how I realized learned about the world of persimmon varieties. But this one I grafted said 4 years ago, and I think it's going to produce. I've got several like at this stage. Some are a lot bigger than this actually that I think are going to produce this year. But this is a native tree, pretty large, probably 15 feet tall or so. Let's see how big this thing is, but this is what I like to see the tree stage of growth for the spring when it's time to graft. And I'm in central Illinois, and it's very end of April. I forgot the exact day. But this is, I don't know what variety this is here exactly. It's just something extra that I grafted on in case this failed. And this I know is Rosianka, and this may have persimmons on it too. And believe it or not, this thing I actually trimmed the back because I was afraid it had too much growth, and this one was kind of growing out into the path. But this thing grew. This was grafted last year, and this thing grew over 2 feet in the first year. And this is a size rootstock it's on. It's not huge, but it's definitely not small either. So you got to be careful about getting too much growth. It's fun to see, but it's actually best, in my opinion, to cut it off if it gets too long, because spring storms will ruin your work quickly. But again, this is another native tree, and again, this is the size of the leaves. I like to see the combination of leaves like this. I think some people call them squirrel ears or mouse ears or something. But I've got some other smaller ones here that I'm planning on grafting all but a few of these. This one looks like it's dead, but I don't know if you can see it. It's actually starting to grow too. I tried doing a bud graft on that last year that failed. Really late bud graft. But this is the combination of the trees being at this stage and a nice stretch of warm weather is what I've, in my research, which I'll admit was limited to internet stuff. I didn't go to any official sources like a reasonable person would do. But here's one I grafted last year, and this is actually my own variety from this farm that I'm kind of cultivating. But it's a nice cleft graft on just a lot of this stuff I'm just doing for experiments and seeing how it goes and checking it out. Anyway, this is a really nice older graft that I did again a few years ago. I would be surprised if it doesn't produce. And one other thing, I don't know if you noticed in another tree, but what I do is on these older trees is when the graft gets established and starts growing, instead of just cutting this top off, I girdle it to kill it, and then I can use it to tie on what I got on the other side of my land here. I've got at the edge of those trees, it's wide open, and that I'm facing west right now, and those storms come through here, and they just bend these trees. So I try to tie them all up. This one really doesn't need it anymore, but you know, it's kind of not the best job there. I'm sure there's better ways to do it. A lot of this stuff I think of at the last minute and work with what I might happen to have in the back of my ATV or something. So, but a lot of these trees in here have just come up through root suckers, and I kind of give them some spacing, and a lot of this is being kind of managed just to supply the scion in years to come. I don't really care about optimum spacing here for fruit production or anything. some of these trees I've let go because over the years I watch and I like the fruit they produce anyway. But yeah, this is my, here's another thing, one other thing I'll show you. How's that mud taste, Levi? This is just again a wild tree that just came up on its own right here next to my trail, and I put a graft on here, bud graft on here late last year, and that thing's coming in real nice. I'll cut all this off here eventually. Just kind of letting things get a good start, making sure make it through a little bit more of a period here that could be frost and change everything in one night. I think we're past that, but I don't want to get too confident of that. I've got wild persimmons coming up all over the place in here. There's a really big one right there that it's probably 30 or 40 feet tall that produces some nice persimmons. There's another one there. And I've just been taking seed from these over the years and doing my thing. And I got about 20 varieties that I'm going to try to add. I've found that my success with grafting scion that I harvest myself versus mail orders, it's a pretty high ratio there. I mean, the wood to get it through the mail and all that stuff, kind of, you know, it is what it is. Just I don't expect, well, I'm not surprised when it failed, I'll put it that way. But anyway, all right, just thought I'd kind of share this stuff.